wanted to expose this because nobody is really going to warn you about this or tell you about this. So it's important that I warn people about this because, one, don't think that Vladimir Putin is against the New World Order. He is part of it. He's part of it. He just acts like he's not. As you see from the article, Putin warns Obama, "Tell the world about Nibiru or I will." We all know the agenda with the satanic agenda of the Planet X Nibiru, which is just to basically promote aliens, because if you look at orbs connected to the Anunnaki, or however it's pronounced, and they think it's ancient aliens, and it isn't. Planet X doesn't exist because they're basically promoting evolution, that Planet X was the planet that blew the Earth up millions of years ago, and then suddenly the Earth just remade itself, and this planet just basically drifted off into nowhere. It doesn't make any sense. Where would the planet have gone? It couldn't go forward because it'd be going nowhere. And if it went forward, how could it come back? It doesn't make any sense. It's part of the agenda, and I see that many people have fell for this, that Planet X exists. It's fear-mongering. Yesterday, Russian President Vladimir Putin issued a shocking ultimatum to Barack Hussein Obama in a private telephone conversation. The Russian president reprimanded his American counterpart for offering the Nibiru cover-up and demanded the American president come clean and warn the world about Nibiru's impending arrival, and publicly detail the disastrous consequences the rogue system will wreak upon planet Earth. 2 weeks ago, we reported that former KGB officer Isaac American leaders used the threat of nuclear war to silence Russian leaders from alerting the world to Nibiru's threat. Putin's announcement not only corroborates the information but also confirms that the Kremlin is definitely withdrawing from the 30-plus year cover-up and is willing to dismiss the conspiracy despite Washington's threat to nuke Moscow. According to our confidential source, was obtained the leaked information from a British intelligence agent. The conversation between Putin and Obama lasted only 7 minutes and left President Obama looking extremely upset and irritated that Putin's demands for decades. Russian leaders have anxiously sought to blow the whistle about the brown dwarf star on its orbiting planets, but a watchful Marvis White House representative threatened a nuclear if Russian leaders of scientists went public with credible information on Nibiru's threat to our world. Now it seems Putin has received information allowing his arrogant Western indignation on Moscow source reports that Putin discovered that America had been bluffing about its witnesses' willingness to start an atomic war over Nibiru. That bluff worked well against Yeltsin. Sorry, I can't pronounce these Russian names. However, the bluff collapsed when Kremlin security specialists intercepted and disputed a confidential email President Obama to Hillary Clinton from her private confidential email server. Obviously, this image here is supposed to be a nuclear war. Planet Nibiru, I don't know. But it's all part of the agenda. It's part of the agenda to fear meme. We've fooled them this far, Obama wrote. They actually believe we will risk destroying our countries. Whoever thought a bluff would work this well? I should play poker professionally. Or discovering the content of the email and arranged Vladimir Putin immediately phoned the White House and demanded to speak with Obama, who at the time was in a golfing match with David Cameron. Yeah, because we all know that's all they do. That's why the countries are so messed up. With tensions high in the United States, Secret Service and National Security Advisor Susan Rice alerted Obama to this situation, and May 1, the president's helicopter whisked him to the White House under increased security. Our source confirms that Obama was visibly shaken during the conversation. This is part of the agenda. That's all it is. Don't fear it, because it's part of the agenda. This is what people don't understand. Vladimir Putin is not against the New World Order. He's part of the New World Order. This is how they fool you. They make out like, oh, we're against the New World Order, yet you're still a part of it. And Putin's most shocking remarks will show no longer cover in the face of false American threats. You have implied the truth for far too long. You and your professors and adversaries of truth are potential saying lies, since your voice has farther reach and carries greater impact. I will give you one chance to tell the world about Nibiru. If you don't, I will. Western whistleblowers like Paul Cox, Eugene Rex and Dr. Ronald Shimschuk have recently risen from the shadows, breaking silence at the risk to their own safety. Russians and German television to talk about Nibiru. His research supports the comfort of his Western counterparts. It appears that his bravery is at least partly noticed, though. But if you remember, this is what many people don't understand as well. If you're part of the New World Order agenda, like if you're a Freemason, part of the Illuminati, people seem to think that you can just get out of it. You can get out of it. Even when you break that oath of silence. If you speak out about the Freemasons, what they do, or you speak out about the Illuminati, you will be killed. They have the right to kill you because you've took that oath. This is what many people don't understand. And they seem to fall for whatever the government tells them. because there's no such thing as Planet Nibiru. It's a load of garbage. And then I noticed there was so many Nibiru. Nibiru spawns Hurricane Matthew. It's ridiculous. Hurricane, that was nothing to do with Planet Nibiru. Hurricanes happen all the time. And you can look it up on YouTube or wherever, and you'll see that hurricanes are a natural thing. They happen a lot. Many seem to promote that, oh, this has never happened before. A tsunami or something's going on worldwide big. This has never happened before. It has. You've seen volcanoes erupting now and again. Tokyo, there's tsunamis all the time. It's a natural occurrence. They get the worst of it. They get it by tsunamis and floods on a daily basis. They really do get the worst of it. So it's not something strange is going on. It's been going on for ages. They make out like it hasn't been going on. Planet Nibiru does not exist. As you see, Planet Nibiru, no. Nibiru. It's ridiculous. Soaking people's attention. It's just North Korea to nuke Nibiru. How could you nuke Nibiru? It's impossible. Even if it did exist, you couldn't nuke it. As they say, it's supposed to be twice the size of the Earth. So one little nuke's not gonna do nothing. Vladimir Putin prepares for Nibiru. Lies. Wall Street, Nibiru, it's just Nibiru. And I'll show you. Trump debate disaster explained Nibiru. Well, I've never seen this one before, but let's check it out. See what it is. It's probably some lies. He's a sellout as well. And why people are worshipping this guy, I don't know, because what he said about women is completely disgusting. He said all women are a piece of I'm not going to say the word, they're a piece of, and they're only used for one thing, sex. So do you really want somebody like this running your country that promotes all women are useless and they're just a sex object, and he even wants to sleep with his own daughter? It's ridiculous. No, this is just completely ridiculous. October 2nd, October 4th, it's now October 12th. Let's look at this one as well. None of this is to do with Planet Nibiru. See what I mean? Yet they said Planet Nibiru was bigger than the Earth. What? That's not bigger than the Earth, is it? Because if it was bigger than the Earth, it would be covering the whole sky. It's ridiculous. As you see with this, Hurricane Matthew was spawned by Nibiru, says Dr. Ethan Trowbridge, a leading who was expelled from for alerting the world about the dark star and its orbiting planets. A Category 4 storm. Hurricane Matthew is currently raging through the Caribbean, with mine topping out at over 150 miles per hour, although tracking models predict the storm will turn sharply east. Nibiru is producing latest heat on our planet, and this has a positive correction with weather pattern currently being experienced on Earth. No proof to back it up. Of course, some people are just going to soak this up, even when they're not given any proof. There are a lot of things the public is not being told that can influence the storm. It's a storm. Storms happen all the time. It's nothing to do with Nibiru. It's just a ridiculous lie. They said Nibiru was going to pass Earth in 2012, and it never happened. I mean, as we go on, we go down. This was not caused by Nibiru. It's just these people are just promoting fear mongering. As you see, there's just so much about Nibiru. I mean, like, even people think there's a World War III gonna happen. Obviously people don't know the Bible, or they don't read it, because you will hear rumours of wars, but it shall come to pass. It won't happen. I mean, you can just look at this site and you'll see so many about Nibiru. As you see Nibiru over and over again. It doesn't even exist. It doesn't exist. I mean, they say that Planet Nibiru is bigger than the Earth, yet you look at the picture here, it's not even bigger than Earth, it's smaller than Earth. See, it's red. Which one's Planet Nibiru there? It makes no sense. Obviously, I'm guessing that one's Mars and whatever that one is. Whether you call it Planet X, Planet Nibiru, Nemesis, the 12th planet, Wormwood, and the Destroyer, a brown dwarf star, the red or the blue. Know this, your government is actively hiding this knowledge from you because they do not care about you as individuals. Well, we all knew that from day one. I knew that from day one. You don't have to tell me that. Already knew that. Millions will die and they know it. How will we die? Take your pick. Multiple asteroid impacts, massive volcano eruptions, enormous earthquakes, huge tsunamis, comet impacts, or a magnetic pole shift. A comet is not a threat to humanity. You see comets flying past, it's not an asteroid, it's not the same thing. A comet is basically like a beam of light or a star. Deadly cosmic rays, the list is actually even longer, however, I'm sure you get the point. Whatever you do, don't get hung up on different names for the solar system, because they each have a slightly different backstory. NASA, they can't even give real proof. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, UFO, that's what they all promote. UFOs exist. The really sad news is that your government has known of Planet X for at least 50 years. They could have started preparing us way back then. The point is, if Planet X even existed, they said it's twice the size of Earth. So, what could anybody possibly do to stop it? If it existed, it would destroy and shatter the Earth into pieces. And there's nothing we can do about it. So when they say we could stop it, like hiding underground, this is what the elite believe, that they can hide under an underground bunker and hide from God's judgment. It ain't gonna happen. Like, you see, they promote perhaps drones on deep underground militant bunkers, dumps. Why for themselves and those with enough money to buy a spot? The elites. I think, however, that their dumb facilities may not work as well as they think. That's your only soul. Please, friends. Many of those big shots will not make it because the destruction coming is far greater than even they have anticipated. As they say, even as someone says, yeah, you can't stop it. When God's judgment comes, even as it says in Revelation, hide us from him that sitteth upon the throne and his judgment. That's the elite hiding underground, going, hide us from God's judgment, help us, thinking they can hide underground. It's not going to make a difference. You've seen it in the film 2012. They thought they could hide. Didn't last long, did it? They all died. No matter what you do, you cannot hide underground. It will destroy everything on Earth. To shed a little light, let me tell you why they don't tell you now. Why they'll wait until the last possible moment. First, practically speaking, it's just too late. Second, almost all coastal regions on the Earth will be swallowed by a huge tsunami. What could happen if governments tried to move billions of people inland? Panic, looting, killing, and general mayhem. They want you working until the day you die, nice and orderly, or should I say. If you don't believe me, start doing some research. I have done my research and Planet X doesn't exist.